So it was a bit of a running joke for the year or two I was at TAFE. But someone actually said to me, you're not mentally ill, what you know is right. And someone came up to them, hit him on the shoulder and said he's not meant to know. Okay, now these are incidences that I'm recalling from the past, which might sound ridiculous, but over time it adds up that I'm not mentally ill, I was never wrong to begin with. Then in 2004 those two people come around, like when I started telling you the story, 2 bits of paper to be signed. The girl was saying, do you want to be locked in a cage for the rest of your life? Sign it, sign it. So I wrote my name on one bit and I signed the second one because of the intimidation. Okay, now she ran off. That redhead bloke said, go and get him off her. I was dumbfounded by what to do, but put it this way.
That was in 2004.
Yeah, and this is... I get locked in Greylands in 2007. That psychiatric nurse says to me, how much will you give me if I tell him the truth? I said, I'll give you $1. She goes, you go get stuffed then. Right? That same incident in hospital 2007, that doctor said to me, you're right, Jeff, you're right in what you say, but we're not going back on what we've done.
So, what the gist is all about is this is all about conspiracy, intimidation.
Well, it's word of mouth. Yeah. Look, it's
word of mouth, right from 1984.
Well, think about it. It's people taking the piss and making fun of someone behind their back. That's where it starts from.
What then is the solution?
Excuse me, just to let you know, your next guy's here when you're ready.
You have the file with you?
Sorry?
You have the file?
Yeah, and I just need to have a chat with you about it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Well.
Sorry. What we agree on.
Right.
What we seem to agree now is that the distressing experience you are having is similar to symptoms of mental illness. But
that's what...
okay, let me finish. But you do not believe it is mental illness.
No.
Because what causes it, you can identify those things that cause it.
There are people that I identify, okay? There's situations I identify, and if I told you that I know those things for 100% accurate, that's what I mean, 100%. If I don't know for sure, I'll tell you. For instance, that redhead bloke, he came to Geraldton, okay? He came to Gillian Lane's house where I was living. He said to Gillian Lane, he's got no evidence, he can't prove anything, this has to happen, okay? Now, before that incident, I had friends. I was going fishing daily with different friends. Had an active social life. I had the girlfriend, her 2 kids, the neighbours that we associated with on a daily basis. And I was having a great time. I had my job plus my own business. Okay, now this redhead bloke...
That was in 85.
No, this is about 2 years ago, out the front of my ex-girlfriend's house, Gillian Lane. When I got to Geraldton, in Geraldton 2007, end of 2007, I went straight from Greylands to Geraldton, okay? No stopping anywhere else, okay? Set up in Geraldton, spent 18 months where things were going great. I got that girlfriend, I had my business, had that job, friends, fishing, even the quiet parties, not big screaming alcohol parties, but just quiet get-together dinner type parties. Living a fairly decent life and having people around me that I can trust, to this redhead bloke saying what he said to that girlfriend of mine at the time, and everything turning to dust since then. No business, no job, no friends, ostracised, can't get a job. The last job I applied for was Gold Tarcoola, and I didn't even get a reply back from them. Yet they've employed another 20 or 30 people since have gone through that place as a workplace.
Very upsetting.
Well, it is. Look.
Now, I do understand what you say in terms of your experience of persecution from 1984, and apparently your experience of persecution even when you were 84. Now, in terms of that, this is your own personal experience. I can't take that away from you.
No, but you're diminishing it by telling me...
What seems to be the areas of contention?
For me at this point is when I try and get a job...
Is how do we manage these symptoms of distress that you are having? You don't think medication will help?
No, it's not helping.
We think medication will help, but you think medication is not the issue. So how do you think this can be solved?
For one, acknowledge the problem. Two, show empathy. They're the first 2 points.
Problem. Two, show empathy. I acknowledge that you are going through a lot of distress.
Right.
The symptoms of distress you are going through to me appear like that of mental illness.
Right.
But you say it might look like mental illness, but it is not mental
Exactly.
illness because you know what the causes are. So
Look,
I'm not disputing the fact that you have symptoms that look like mental illness, but and I give that to you that if you think it's not mental illness, but it is just distress because of what you have been going through, I acknowledge that.
yeah, okay,
But
cool.
where we seem to disagree are two areas. One, in terms of how do we solve this problem.
Yep.
I'm concerned about how this problem can be solved.
That's
you
my
also want this
concern.
problem to be solved.
Yeah.
But areas of disagreement is what is the right method to use.
Right. If you recall, one of the first things you said to me was that if I take the medication, it will calm me down so you can deal with the issue. Right? Do you remember that?
That if you take the medication,
Right, it'll calm me down and then you can deal with the issue.
Yep.
Okay, now I said to you that that had been done repeatedly before. I'd taken the medication and that's all that happens. Nothing gets resolved. The problem still continues. Okay? That's what I pointed out to you then. That's why I was so angry that you changed your mind and made out that I have to have this medication. Because it doesn't resolve anything. It doesn't address the issue. It's just a smoke screen. Because if, for instance, I do well, if I do try something and am successful, are you going to say, oh, that's because of the medication?
No.
No. But you do.
No, because, hold on.
You do.
Okay, maybe that is, I'm not an Englishman.
No.
Maybe communication issue.
Yeah, okay.
Because I told you
Well,
area,
no, because I told you...
I told you area where we seem to agree, area where we disagree.
Yeah.
And when I said taking the medication will help you to calm down so that we can address the issue,
Yeah.
that means I'm saying that it is not the medication alone that will be the solution.
The medication
That
is not a solution.
The problem is more complex than that.
It is.
But the medication is to help with the impact of the distress. Because when someone is distressed, the person becomes tense, harassed.
Right, but think about how I
You know?
became distressed when I first met you. How many months did I go through so-called counselling with Tony Higgins, who is actually a vindictive, malicious little turd, right? Now, how many counselling sessions did I go through with him? And what was increasing my frustration? Was it his antagonising way?
When I mean counseling, let's look at the fact that over the years there have been a lot of disagreement about what is the right approach. And some of the methods we might have used might not have been effective or might even have gone down the wrong way.
It has.
So, but when we are talking about it, we could see what has worked, what has not worked.
Yeah, but
Okay?
I pointed out
You
this
are
to you.
saying that the medication has never worked.
No.
But I'm saying that this is the area of disagreement. I'm saying that the medication is not meant to do just the job. Medication is just one of the methods that we need to put together to get this thing sorted out.
So this has been going on since 1997, and all I've had is medication.
So
with no counselling, no any other treatment at all, no acknowledgement of what the actual problem was, mate. You're the first one to actually say the symptoms you showed may have a different cause. I've presented that to you and you agree with me and acknowledge that that may be right. You're the first one to do that. No one else has done that.
even when I said that,
Today.
even when I said that, I do agree that we can't solve the problem alone without you.
No.
Because you know what the issues have been. And that is why I'm saying that we must agree to have areas in which we disagree. And then we have to see areas, work on areas where we agree, and try to see how we can diminish areas of differences.
Yeah,
Apart from medication, there is an area which we also disagree.
Which is?
The use of marijuana.
Right.
Yeah, you don't believe marijuana has anything to do with it at all.
Well,
I believe marijuana.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, I believe marijuana can make things worse.
It can.
But
But
you probably don't see it that way.
No, look, I can agree with you that marijuana is not necessarily a helpful item, not always harmless either.
Yep.
Okay, so marijuana for me prevents me from going over the deep end. Okay, with all the frustration I have to deal with, the marijuana I smoke actually increases after I've dealt with you. You know,
I missed that.
it increases after I've dealt with you.
Okay.
Because of the medication. Because by medicating me, you're telling me you don't believe what I say, You're not acknowledging what the problem is, and therefore it leaves me all alone, suffering from the side effects of the medication. So I've made up for it by smoking more and more marijuana. So I've gone from smoking $20 a week to almost $20 a day.
I do know that some people take more marijuana to deal with the side effects.
Exactly.
But I must acknowledge that this area is that you have been using the marijuana long time before you were even started on antipsychotic at all.
Yeah,
So we can't say it is the medication that made you to use marijuana because you've been using it long time before medication come on. This is historical, am I right?
No. What I'm trying to explain about the medication is that, say, leading up to August last year, my marijuana use was at best $20 a week.
Yeah.
Okay, and that went on for about 18 months, and I'd smoke about that much per week, and it was low quality marijuana. But since being medicated, whether it's a combination of a spike or trying to, you're trying to diminish side effects, whether it's a combination of those two things, I end up going to the harder marijuana, and I smoke more and more of that. Not just to...
And the more one smoke marijuana as well, the less the medication will work at all.
But
and
also,
then you set up a
the thing is, right, what you're missing there, right, is that if I didn't have the medication, I wouldn't be going into smoking that much marijuana.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll give that to you that if you didn't have the medication, you might not be smoking more marijuana.
No, I could keep it at the limit it was.
That is
also,
possible.
look, my arms have gone skinny, no muscle. I haven't been fishing since February. Now, I was going fishing 3 times a week, probably on the beach, and maybe twice a week on the boat at the time that you started medicating me. Since then, I spent 16 hours a day in bed, not quite asleep, but not quite awake either. Okay? That's what I spent for 2 weeks every time I was injected.
It can be very upsetting.
It is.
Particularly
but because of that, you've changed my daily routine of eating food, so I've lost a lot of weight. I don't have breakfast like the way I did before. Okay? Well, it's a big deal, mate, because my health is suffering, and now we're getting on to winter, and I've got to re-establish a routine, and this is the first month of a different medication that doesn't sedate me for 16 hours a day.
So this current medication does not sedate you?
No significant bad side effects. What I do have is a crash. Every 3 days I'll have a crash in the afternoon.
What does that mean?
Just all of a sudden I'm
asleep.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm active. Next thing I'm in bed.
So it seems to be better than what the one you were taking before.
The one before it was 16 hours a day for 2 weeks after the medication. The 3rd week I was a little bit drowsy. The 4th week was great, but then I get injected again. Okay, with this medication I've noticed I can have 3 days of fairly active and active all day. But one of those 3 days, I'm going to hit the bed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and be absolutely exhausted, and not physically exhausted, but brain exhausted. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but.
So look, you are the one taking that injection.
Not by choice.
You are the one taking it. So if you are telling me your personal experience of it, I can't take that away from you.
No, you can't. You need to acknowledge that.
I have to thank you for letting me know as well.
Yeah, because not many people can tell you the way I can.
There is no medication that is perfect.
No. But you know what is perfect is to get away from all medication, because I don't need it.
That will be absolutely impossible with the complexity of problems we have.
No, I don't think it's impossible, no way.
Let me explain. Let me explain.
Right,
let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
We have areas where we agree more than areas where we disagree. What we disagree about is how to solve this problem.
Yeah.
You don't think it is medication, that medication has nothing to do at all with it.
No.
Okay, but I think a little medication has a role to play, but medication alone can't solve the problem.
I can agree with you on that point, but up until this very moment, all I've ever had is medication. Nothing, not even an acknowledgement of the problem, just medicated and told it didn't happen.
Look, it will be difficult for someone to say that something did not happen, which you experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I do not experience it, does not mean I will say it does not happen.
Well, the situation with Choco, right?
What I'm saying is that the consequences of all that has created a lot of distress in you. And that distress has been so complex that job, relationship has been affected. And if we want to solve this problem, definitely the only thing medication can do would be to reduce the distress. But we have to focus on how to improve on the relationship,